You know what really grinds my gears? The fact that woman, the scientifically proven inferior species, is given the right to drive.
Women can't drive.
The only time that a woman should be allowed to drive is if there is a road between the kitchen and the bedroom, the only two places where the genetically inferior species belongs.
Women can't drive.
There is nothing I would rather disprove than the myth that women can't drive. When I was a little girl, I hated dolls. I had so much more fun decapitating Barbies and running them over with my bike than actually playing with them. What were you even supposed to do with dolls, I wondered. Toy cars and trucks just seemed so much more useful and fun. You could race them, build tracks, launch them around the room. The possibilities were endless. As a toddler, I could name the make and model of virtually any car on the road. This early fascination with motor vehicles could probably be attributed to my father's influence. He's been an avid car collector since before I was born. I used to help him prepare our old BMW for clean car competitions, which meant scrubbing each and every crevice of the car with Q-tips doused in cleaner. I was taught early on that cars weren't just a way to get from here to there, that there was something more to them. There was an art form to polishing, waxing, and scrubbing classic vintage vehicles that most others overlooked. By partaking in this activity, I felt as though I were becoming part of a special, relatively unknown society. Within the car community, my coming-of-age advancement would be entering my first autocross competition. Autocross racing was something that I had been hearing about for years, because my dad was so heavily involved with it.
I love the thrill of getting in the car and knowing that you're trying to beat your own personal best record, compete with other people, and really push the car to its limits on a fairly closed course. So it's a safe environment to push the car.
Did you believe from the start that I would be able to compete?
Absolutely. You just have to practice.
Autocross was created in 1944 as an inexpensive way for automobile enthusiasts to become involved in motorsport. Autocross has never had a rule against women participating, but due to lack of female interest, it is mostly men that show up to compete. But of course, there are always a couple of strong women to break the mold.
I know one guy whose wife is really fast. She's quite a bit faster than me, and she's almost as fast as him, and once in a while, she'll beat his time, and it does bother him a little bit.
Now this was the kind of woman that I aspired to be. After learning to drive manual transmission, suffering through 2 BMW safety schools, and obtaining my license as soon as was legally possible, I was finally ready to race. I traveled to an abandoned airport in Fort Devens, Massachusetts with my dad and several friends for my first competition. I can't say I wasn't nervous. Being a 5-foot-tall 18-year-old girl amidst a crowd of about 100 seasoned veterans who are mostly men is pretty intimidating. To calm my nerves, my dad suggested that I take a test ride around the track with one of the other racers. I chose a huge, scary-looking bald guy whose Honda S2000 was labeled 666. Although he claimed to be an autocross expert, he turned out to be slightly overconfident in his abilities. This was evident within about 10 seconds when he took more than one wrong turn. Admittedly, I found some solace in the fact that he couldn't follow the course. As he cursed at himself, I realized that even though I might not be close to the fastest racer there, at least I knew where I was going. As I idled at the starting line, a million worries ran through my head. What if I lose control? What if all these guys started laughing at me? Worst of all, what if I messed up and couldn't prove myself as a competent female driver? In the end, my determination outweighed all of these fears. I had waited too long for this. To back out at this point would be letting myself down, along with my friends and family. Within seconds, I experienced the greatest adrenaline rush of my life. Swerving around the course in second gear with my pedal to the floor was such an uplifting feeling that I forgot my fears almost instantly. This was the start of a new hobby, something that I could continue to improve on, and I still do today. Now every time I hear some hothead guy talking about how women can't drive, instead of getting upset, I envision myself kicking his ass in an autocross.